episode 2 of the Marvel Strike Force Roundtable. We've got a couple of members missing just due to, commitments. Date night for Zero, he's celebrating Valentine's Day. And Dapper is, he'd come, but he's playing NBA, and I don't think he's actually turned that game off according to his Discord status. You know how it is. Fortunately, though, Ken, and we've got Ken's Army actually join us live. So welcome, Ken's Army, and welcome, Ken. We always love to have you on the show. How you been, brother?
Oh, I'm doing good. Thank you for having me. It's always a blast coming here, hanging out with you guys.
Always want you on. Always. You're the best. You're one of the best. So what's been going on, man? It's been a while. What's going on with your account? What's going on with you? Your channel?
Yeah, to be funny, I think I lost track of my TCP. I have no clue where I am in the game right now. I did start Dark Dimension for like a couple weeks back. But man, I'm taking it easy. I've never started Dark Dimensions like this one that I'm just like, I'm not in no rush whatsoever. I'm actually looking at my cosmic team right now, trying to build that as well, trying to get my resources and kind of look forward to the upcoming challenges. So I've never tackled a Dark Dimension for like this one. This is definitely a different challenge where, to be honest, there's no rush on my end to get to the next level, to get to global, to get to not city, cosmic, etc. So as long as it gets me enough time to build the rest of my roster to get there, I'm happy with it.
So what's your strategy moving into Dark Dimension 4? Did you just go for characters that were easy, or did you go for like easy to gear, or did you actually have a set group of guys you wanted to go into Dark Dimension 4 with?
No, so in my case, I think it's a mixture of it, right? Like definitely if it's cheaper, but I'm actually giving them usage in the game. So my biggest concern was I want to bring up characters that I am already like giving them usage in the game, characters that I'm not going to regret building up just for the sake of, taking a chance and saying, hey, maybe hopefully this guy's going to be fantastic in Dark Dimension 4. Especially with the way that I play the game, I'm technically cheap to play, or free to play. let's be real. I'm pretty free to play as it stands right now. So with limited resources, I definitely try to make sure that I do maximize what I'm giving usage right now. So if it's something, like my scene builds, I'm definitely going to be building them for the city nodes because they're already all the way built up. They're Gear 14, so they're going to be definitely targets that I want to build up once I get there. But right now, I have Baron Zemo, who is kind of like my number one characters it's like a go-to character for me in War, even if I don't necessarily use, Zemo Hydra. I used to kind of like plug and play in War attacks, in other aspects of the game too lately, RTA, etc. So I definitely didn't have no qualms about bringing him up, even if he's not fantastic in RTA. Not Zemo, Sabretooth is super cheap, but at the same time, my Sinister, my Marauders are pretty strong, so he was kind of like the weak link there, and he's the damage, so I brought him up for that reason as well. And then who else did I bring in? Thanos. So I got a cosmic already. I got Thanos for my Black Order. I have Symbiote Spider-Man ready, and then I also have I can't think of the fifth one, but it's someone once again that I'm giving them tons of use. So that was my first thought on it. I want to build up guys that are already built up, and that I'm definitely still plenty in the game.
No, and I think that's a big one too. I was talking to a couple of boys. As you would have noticed, I haven't been streaming much. Work's been hectic, but now we're back in lockdown, so maybe I'll start streaming more. And I was saying to him that I definitely don't want to move up characters that are useless. Like, they might be really good in Dark Dimension 4, but if they're trash everywhere else, it feels like a wasted set of resources. So I definitely agree with your approach there. Am I getting it out of the raids? Am I getting it in war and stuff like that? And I heard Baron Zemo is awesome in Dark Dimension 4.
Baron Zemo is not that good. He's kind of like the one that gets babysat, at least for me. He gets babysat a little bit because he's so squishy and they tend to target him quite a bit. But once again, I don't have any regrets because I know once I pass Dark Dimension 4, I'm happy that I got to build him up already because I know I'm going to be getting him a lot of usage in war. So no regrets. No regrets.
Awesome. That sounds good. And you were saying before the show that you've got another, in Stream Rays, you've got a rogue skin going on there.
I did. I got another skin. We got a freaking. I can't wait to see a lot of Nobus running around in Stream Raiders. So we'll drop it on the next Mendawgs Stream Raiders for sure.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, so guys, definitely check him, Ken, out if you haven't already. But if you're a long-time viewer of the show, then you know. Episode 1, I'm still doing a couple of editing on that, but that will be out today if you missed out on last week's one. And then this week will come out on Monday morning. American time, not Australian time, so I've really got to go on the internet and find out what that time difference is. Lex, my boy, from the studio, what is going on?
Not a lot, man. How you doing, brother? How's everything
good,
going?
brother. Good. So what's been going on with you?
Just trucking along, just running the marathon, I guess. I've been playing pretty casually. I finally broke 3 million TCP, which is good. I was pretty happy about that. Yeah. And I'm just working on getting into DD3 right now. I got almost 4 characters ready, so I'm not too far away. I'm looking forward to starting that. I could really use the gear. I've hit a couple of the bottlenecks. Well, the training mat bottleneck I've been stuck in for quite a while. And as far as like the spending aspect, yeah, I haven't, other than the battle pass and buying the $5 training mat offers, I haven't really been spending in the game either.
And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that.
I just want to say, congrats to everybody that got Jubilee. Unfortunately, she wasn't a main focus for me right now. I'm just working on, the main things, trying to get into DD3, get that finished, get all that gear. But yeah, it's been good, man. Just trucking along, just doing my thing,
And Lex, that's what he always does. So definitely, if you haven't already, check him out. Lex Lethal. There will be a advertisement thing in the chat, so definitely check him out on that one. Nietzsche, we were talking about this before the show, so you're gonna have to rehash everything you talked about. But before that, how you been, man, and what's been going on?
I'm doing well, just moved up to Virginia and getting settled in, looking for a job. I got a 6-star unlock.
And Nietzsche's so pretty.
Has Nietzsche stopped talking, or is it me?
I don't know. No,
I think
he did freeze.
And he's gone. If someone wants to offer Nietzsche a job in the chat, please hit him up. He needs to pay his internet bill.
Poor Nietzsche.
Well, I do know. Well, you're on the East Coast though too, but I heard people are getting pummeled right now with snow, dude. So maybe the weather's bad
weather
there.
over there.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully he's fine. He's gonna have to repeat himself. Oh no, he's gone. What we'll do? He'll probably come back. He's probably just reset.
Yeah, he'll probably jump back in. Look, you just became Neats.
Needs.
And Nietzsche's back.
Our powers combined.
So I have to buy internet here where I'm at the moment, and it always cuts out during Roundtable.
Okay.
Like my weekly plan ends apparently at like 9:40.
If I jump in a Discord call with enough people, my internet like I don't know. Sometimes I've been in Discord calls with like 7, 8, 9 people, and then my internet will start acting funky, dude.
Well, we had the same issue last week, and we weren't doing. I think we were just on voice last time. But Nietzsche, carry on with what you were saying. It pretty much said,
where did I leave off?
Yeah, you moved to Virginia and then you stopped.
Yep. So
don't read too much into that, guys.
I moved to Virginia, getting settled in, looking for a job. Did a 6-star unlock on Jubilee and working on Dark Dimension 4. Hopefully I will be finished with that in the next couple of days.
Nice.
So, yeah, we were going through this before the show, but Nietzsche, so what was your sort of because I think you're on the last note. I think you were saying you were just waiting for a couple of pieces left.
I'm waiting basically on 5 hyperphage, or however you pronounce that, to get into legendary, and then some SBCs. But I could literally get the SBCs right now if I had the hyperphage. So once I do that, I'll have 3 nodes, and I will probably core to make sure I get it done in the next 2 to 3 days.
Nice. I'd love to pick your brain for a video on that one. Just moving forward.
Can you bring Doom all the way up when you get him?
I haven't actually calculated it, but the way I do, I hate spending over the milestone amount. So normally it takes about 3 days for me to level someone like roughly fully up.
Okay.
All them resources is so we will be doing some testing, probably doing some videos. I know because we were talking about PvP and how good he's going to be. I think he's going to be an instant block. I don't think anyone's going to run it. Though Nietzsche's hoping when he is playing. So when's your tournament actually? You got a new PvP tournament coming out?
Ken, do you want to talk about the tournament?
Sure. So we got a PvP tournament coming up next Friday. It's gonna be pretty fun. First place gets a battle pass. Second place gets a $10 gift card. $5 for third place. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. Every single round, there's gonna be a permaban as well from what we consider top 20 characters in the game. It's gonna be random as well, so it's gonna be fun. Different element into PvP at that point. It's a lot of strategy into it as well. Not just favoritism on the top characters in the game. So it should be fun. Should be a good, interesting time.
The question for that is Nietzsche playing?
Potentially.
Potentially, yeah.
This fool's gonna win his own tournament.
Well, he needs a battle pass, doesn't he? So
I do. I haven't bought mine yet.
Congratulations, self. I'll buy myself a battle pass.
Nietzsche needs it. So if you want to chuck in a link to that, highly recommend that, guys. If you, especially if you watched it before Friday, those two are going to make you laugh throughout these. Because I presume you're doing voice both years. Well, Nietzsche might not be able to.
We're going to be both commentating. So at the moment, it is set to 16 participants. We're going to run the first round in 2 sets, so 4 matches playing at a time. We're going to be commentating on one, move on to the next if the first match ends early. Then each round, we will be commentating at least one of the streamed matches. And as Ken said before, each round you're going to have 2 characters permabanned for the entire tournament, and so it should be fun. It's going to give some newer players, some players who may not normally have like a full roster or may not be as familiar with it, a chance to take home the gold.
So
for sure, and free entry too.
I definitely recommend these ones. I know I came to MSF due to PvP. I was playing Star Wars, didn't have it, so I came back to MSF Roundtable. So guys, definitely jump that. If you haven't done a community run PvP tournament, they're amazing. And if Nietzsche's going to play, I'm happy to commentate to replace him because I know he wants to play because he's always whinging that he always has to do the admin.
What day is the tournament?
Next Friday.
Next Friday.
Next Friday. All right, cool.
I'll if I play, which I think is probably going to be a big most likely I'll be commentating, but if I do play, I just wouldn't be commentating on my own match.
I'll commentate on your one.
That's all.
Look at how terrible Nietzsche is. But yeah, definitely chuck that in, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, I will have the link to the PvP tournament. I'm presuming that this will be probably not a constant thing, but we do a lot of community PvP tournaments, so definitely jump in on them. And Nietzsche, follow Nietzsche because he's always run PvP tournaments and always happy to help out. So definitely check that out, guys. So what else has been going on, Nietzsche? Or you're pretty much good to go?
I mean, unless you want me to go more into Dark Dimension or something.
We can talk about that in the next section.
Around.
Sounds good.
Right.
So, guys, Dark Dimension 3 finished that yesterday, so that's pretty cool. First
Congratulations,
time.
brother.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Congrats,
Thank you. So we got that through. I'm currently sitting at. I'm not even caring about TCP anymore. 4.6 million. 4.6 million. Run.
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah.
How was the gear? I want that gear, man. I need the gear from DD3.
I finished it, and thank you very much for the guys in chat. Yes, it's a big milestone finishing Dark Dimension 3. I was hoping I could upgrade a lot more. I did enjoy the silver promotion credits, which I used instantaneously on Thanos to get him up a couple more red stars. And now we were just before the show, I was showing Node 3 again, so I'm going through the run again. Was able to unlock Jubilee. Couldn't do it. Absolutely couldn't do it. I've been playing it since the event came out. Ken jumped in with his the Ken's army, and I was able to finish it. So, guys, thank you very much. So I was able to get it. No red stars, unfortunately, and we'll probably talk about the red star conundrum at the that's going on. And then other than that, I finished off the health and damage for Mystic. So the last one I'm doing is skill. Before I move into the other, the Alliance. I forget what Stark Tech. So I finished off Mystic, and the last one I'm going to do is skill for health and damage, and then I'll start working through is it focus, resistance, and armor, and start working towards them. So doing some pretty good stuff. Pretty happy with that. As I said, free to play. So unlike what Perk said in one of our other chats, he's like, you and your $30,000 account. That's not quite true, but pretty happy with how it's going. So enjoying a lot of fun there. So guys, let's kick off with there's a lot of controversy going on in MSF at the moment. I want to talk about red stars because we were talking about that before the show. To get Jubilee, so I usually tend to hold red stars until one of these new characters comes out. Was able to get a 7 red star Iceman, so I was happy with that. From a 4-star orb. And I've used 2, 4, 2, 5, and 10 red, and to get any for Jubilee. And the reason I want to highlight the red stars is because obviously with this Jubilee event, it recommended that you need at least a minimum 4 red stars on each character, which Remenex said it as well, like inherently saying that 3 red star and below is useless, and we've been saying that for a while anyway. That 4 is really the minimum you want, and 5 is that. Yeah. Real minimum that you actually want.
That sweet spot.
That sweet spot, indeed. So I'll go to Ken first, but like the red stars, how do you think that they could either improve the system or B
no red stars? Is that a thing?
That would fix it, right? That would fix it.
Unfortunately, I think we're way past that at this point. So listen, when it comes to the red stars, it is what it is. The RNG based part of the whole roster progression that I don't think anybody necessarily loves. Unless you're really spending and that's what you're really pushing for the most part. I tend to just do the best that I can and focus out and save my red stars for the characters that I really want a high chance on to get red stars on for the most part. But with all of that being said, Axeman is X-Men. They're one of my favorite teams. X-Men has been a favorite team for a while. So I went all out. My Iceman dried me out. Iceman left me with no red stars. I think I had 50 plus orbs to open, and I was so excited. I was like, I hope it's only going to be half of these orbs, and then I'll have something else for the rest of the guys. And no, I didn't. I'm in the same boat as you. I didn't get any red stars for them. Except for Kitty Pride, I think was a 6 red star. Everything else was a 2 red star on X-Men. So, you live and you learn. I guess that's why we have promo credits. And at this point, I'm just gonna try my best to bring up Bishop in particular. I know it's gonna be a focus for me to bring up, and Jubilee because she's only at 2.
So have you got the team already?
Yeah, I got. Well, except for Bishop. Bishop, I don't buy the character, so Bishop is gonna be a unlock for me with the Blitz. Hopefully, I tend to usually buy 1 or 2 offers with the course, and I am actually doing okay. I got a 20 drop on him already.
Oh, nice.
So technically, even if I get 2% on this blitz, I should get the unlock on this one, which it looks like it's pretty high up. This is going to be a pretty high. I think they're saying 37 mil for this blitz. So
what's your score at right now?
What was it? I think I was either 14 mil or something like that. And I was gonna try and do a couple more tonight. So my goal was trying to finish between 16, 17 tonight, and then go hard tomorrow, and try to get as much as I can. But to be honest, if I don't end up hitting 37 mil and I get at least 2% and I unlock him, I'm a happy man. So.
Gamma is offering. He's got 500 silver. So if you need
500 silver, wow!
You can borrow some Ken to help you out.
I see that. Thanks, Gamma. I'll take some. Sure.
I wish I would have had some of those a week ago, man. When Emma, Sinister, and SSM all showed up in the store at the same time.
Oh,
yeah.
So
decisions.
So Lex, silver promotion credits and stuff like that with. Because I'll do a bit what do you think about the Red Star system? But with silver and gold, should we be getting more of these, considering that? So, for example, let's use Ebony Moore, very good character, very good legendary character. The only way because obviously he came out before you started and we missed out on that plus 15%. Do you feel that they should be giving more silver and gold promotion credits so it helps you get those Red Stars on those characters that have already passed that bonus 15%? When they first get dropped.
Yeah, I totally think that they should. I mean, the rate that I'm getting them at right now, I think it's taken me, and I'm trying to hit 50 right now. I think and I had 20. I think it's taken me literally almost a month or 3 weeks, a few weeks to get just 20, 25 silver promotion credits. So I definitely think there needs to be at least some kind of increase. And this, the same thing with gold promotion credits. They're even more rare, and there's so many characters in the game that you need a 6 and 7 red star, and you're talking hundreds and hundreds of gold promotion credits. And so I think that I don't know, maybe finding a way to implement them a little bit more or give them out just a little bit more, it would definitely be a lot of help, especially to lower TCP players like myself that are, for example, trying to get into DD3 and I have a 6 red Hella, but most of my other characters are 4 or 5 red, maybe 3 red.
Yeah.
So it would definitely help out a lot.
All right, so I'm getting a lot of hate from chat. I used more because it was the first character I saw when I brought up my screen. I understand he probably doesn't need to go 7 red stars. He doesn't need red stars, but you get the point, right? A good character is Thanos. Is Thanos a better character, right? You want him 7 red stars, right? For the extra health, the extra damage and stuff, especially when he becomes empowered, or Black Bolt or something like that. But you see where I'm coming from, is it takes a while to get these characters, and if you miss that extra 15%, it can potentially be really bad to slowly get there. So what is the Wakandan event? That would be a good one to run a bit more than once a week or whatever it is. Once a month, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, once a month.
Yeah, once a month.
Yeah, my Wakandans suck though, bro. So I ain't even getting those promotion credits. It's like like I was just saying, a lower TCP player, they're not gonna have all these teams, with that geared up or ranked up, and so it makes it hard. It definitely makes it hard.
I think we might see a bit of a difference. Last year they were saying that they wanted to sort of move away from red, and ISO was going to be the new increase sort of thing, and we know that blues are coming out I think spring your time, so what's that, June, July,
tier 2, right? Tier 2 ISO, yeah.
So maybe in the next 6 months. And actually that was one of the things that I was expecting before I head over to Nietzsche about his opinion, is that I thought they were going to drop the 6-month plan. Remember how they talked about that? They do the 6-month drops. But before we go on to that, Nietzsche, have we still got you? Still trying to work out his internet.
I have no idea what's going on with my shit.
Can you hear us?
We can hear you, Nietzsche. We can hear you. Nietzsche's out of it.
Calling Nietzsche. Oh, he's muted.
Yeah, he muted himself.
We'll start calling him the Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Yeah.
And then we'll just start calling him Elton. So, I'll go while Nietzsche fixes his technical problems. I definitely think that they should, if they are going to move to ISO, which I like better because you can actually farm for what you need as opposed to just getting random. You can get a 7 drop on who's someone really bad. Shield Operative, pretty bad character. Wouldn't want a 7 red star on that, right? I do like the promotion credits where you can actually control what you buy, but at the same time you still got that, you run into that issue where you just can't get them enough. I've got a lot at the moment only because I finished obviously Dark Dimension 3 the first time, and you get a whole bunch the next time. So, have we got you back, Nietzsche?
He's trying his best.
He's trying his best. So I don't know if you guys watched. Yeah, he broke it. So
He PvP'd it.
He PvP'd it.
he Cerebro did a video with, I believe it was Mobile Gamer, wasn't it? And he talked about.
Here again.
Oh, he's back. All right. So Red Stars. What are your opinion on that, Nietzsche?
I mean, I think they should have a reduction for characters you have are 7, 6, whatever. They should have a reduction in maybe a percentage of that getting dropped again, so you get maybe less duplicates and a higher chance of getting something you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
I know I was pissed. I think it was yesterday. I pulled a 7 red star and it was a dupe. I mean, it was a great character. It's a long shot, but I already had him at 7 red star, and it was one of my 6 elites, and I was like, well, crap. Like, of all the characters, at least give me a non-dupe. I mean, I'll take a shield minion. But
Let's not say stuff we'll regret.
That's true.
Could be operative. Or hand.
Hey, hands getting reworked.
Hey, I still
Eventually,
stand
yeah.
by. They need to come out with some new minion teams, man. Some type of I don't know, some new minion team.
So
I think it'd be cool.
Ultron, we were talking about this. I've got he's level 13 for me, gear 13. Sorry, can get him up to gear 14, which potentially could bring him in. And we were talking about it's a waste now, right? You can't really get it. But that minion thing, me and Lex have talked about this, is if they brought out minions for the Ultron team plus Ultron, so he gets his own team now. Because we know Red Stars aren't coming on him anytime soon. I agree. A couple of minion teams would be good. But I'd want
Help
the drop
put him
rate
back
better,
on the
right?
board.
Mm.
Yeah, he's kind of fallen off a little bit, so I think that would help. At least make him viable again. I mean, he's okay, but not as good as he used to be for sure.
Yeah, and I don't regret getting him up to where I got him at the moment because I didn't have Black Order at the time, and he was very good in Arena for me. So now I'm in the low 200s, and if any of you know, I left the game. I played for about a month, left the game, came back last June. So I was versing dudes who had very good Black Order teams. So I was like, I'm at that level now, but Ultron helped me. But moving up to gear 14 doesn't help you in gear Dark Dimension 3. I'm not using him much in War either, right? You guys find him used in War?
Oh,
Ultron?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
typically you could put him with Fantastic Four, take out Marauders. You could put him with PA, take out Marauders with that. X-Men.
Okay.
I mean, he basically makes whatever team you put him on better.
Yeah. You almost guarantee a punch up if you include Ultron into whatever team. And that's what I was talking about earlier. Like Baron Zemo, and it's like my second Ultron, but Ultron is they're both on offense for me for that particular reason, so that I can actually use them as whenever I feel like my team's not gonna be able to take on this team, I need to punch up against them. I'll either include Baron Zemo or I'll include Ultron, and man, it changes things up on them.
So what?
Easy.
The two best plug and play characters right now for offensive capabilities.
So for Ultron, how many T4s has everyone got on him, and what gear level is he at? We'll go to Ken first.
I only have actually, I'm gonna lie. I have all of them except for his passive. I think the special is the most essential on him, if anything. To
That
be
gives
honest,
you
but,
that third bot, yep.
yeah. But when I got Ultron, Ultron was still technically like a very OP character in the game. Like, so I'm actually okay that he's somewhat falling off because I still get tons of usage out of my Ultron, as I mentioned. I still think he's a very, very good character in this game, and he's no longer broken. There was a point, I think, in this game that we thought about Ultron and we're like, oh shit, we're gonna face an Ultron broken team, you know. So even without the red stars, he's still very, very strong, very viable. You let him get going, you let those bots get going, and no matter what, he's gonna be a pain.
I found that in some wars where you're losing, but Ultron gets his bots going, and then it's suddenly Ultron and all his bots on one side of the map, and they win. What gear level, was your Ultron, Ken?
So I did gear 14. I think I was gonna leave him at gear 13, but I needed one more body in global in Dark Dimension 3, and I don't necessarily regret it, but I could have definitely done another character into Dark Dimension 3. He was just like another body, to be honest. He's kind of like my Sema right now. So, but to that same point, it's still Ultron. He's still a good character no matter what in the game. So I'm like no regret on my end in that aspect. So just I wouldn't have done it for Dark Dimension 3 purposes.
Nice. Lex, the newest one in the group, did get Ultron. I remember that. We had a big party. It was awesome. How many T4s and gear level is your Ultron? And are you finding use for him still?
So right now I have my Ultron. He is at gear tier 13, and I only have one T4 on him. I have his factory upgrade T4.
Which is his special?
But yeah, his special. But yeah, I mean, because of my my particular level where I'm at, I do still use him, especially in war. That's like the most common place I use him is in war. But other than that, yeah, not really too much. I mean, sometimes I'll plug and play him here and there, but other than that, I just kind of use him when needed, I guess I should say. So, but he's all right. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't think he's by any means a bad character. I just think he used to be a lot better. Like Ken said, he used to be broken. He's a great plug and play character. There's a lot of teams that are good using him especially for taking out the Marauders, as Gamma Freak said. You can plug him in on power armor, and they're able to do real well against them. So, I mean, he still is a viable character for sure. I don't know how much resources he's worth investing in, especially, if you're later on in the game or anything like that. But yeah.
And Nietzsche, probably on the highest rank, part of which team are you part of? Yeah, the Gatekeepers, the highest, whatever that is. How are you finding Ultron at the high end levels? Is he just now faded off? I know yours is gear 14 because you took him in Dark Dimension 3 back in the day where there was less characters. Are you still getting used out of him?
Absolutely. I use them in war offense every war. Specifically, I do the F4 against the Marauders typically. But he's still a great character, great kit. You don't want to let him get rolling. And when you're playing against an AI, so his weakness is how squishy he is because of the lack of red star stat scaling. He's not scaling nearly as well as any other character in the game because he can't get the red stars. Yeah. So he's extremely, he can be taken out very quickly, especially against an actual player. But when you're fighting an AI, he's still great. His bots do, that rewind for the accelerator is one of the best things in the game when you include the rest of his kit as well. So definitely get a lot of use out of him. He has fallen off just in other aspects of the game. I still do use him some in raids, but you don't find him as much outside of those two things.
I recently just watched Avengers Age of Ultron.
Good movie.
Apparently a week of Ultron wasn't enough, so they had to change the age. But
have you guys been watching WandaVision?
I have.
The last episode was pretty good, dude.
It's pretty crazy.
It's
No
getting
spoilers.
pretty good, and there's lots of Easter eggs in it that I enjoy. Like, we're about to get her, Monica Rambeau. She's turning into, what's her name? Akimbo, or no, not Akimbo.
Probably Photon. Well,
Abdul.
there's different.
I looked it up. I think it's Akira or Akima Abdul or something like that. Just like she's like supposed to be just like Captain Marvel.
Oh,
But
really?
yeah, I think it's good. Yeah. She's supposed to have like the same powers as Captain Marvel, like sort of. But yeah, it's getting pretty good, man. I'm enjoying it for sure.
No spoilers in case people haven't watched it. But but back on Ultron, that's why we're talking about is that was James Spader, his voice for Ultron. Wow, it just made me really wish that Ultron, maybe not super meta, but in a couple of game modes could be good. I remember back when I got him in PvP, like if you didn't block him, as in like remove him from the board, whoever had Ultron won. Because some of us had Ultron, but no one had Black Bolt to counter him. So he was just absolutely a demon on the PvP scene. Still is very good too, and depending on your team makeup, you can actually counter Black Bolt because he is very slow. So still have an Ultron team is awesome. So going back to what I was saying before with the 6-month post, we didn't get a post today, which is why, because normally we'd go in the news section and cover the post. They were talking about this week, the 6-month, they're doing it in 6-month blocks. Cerebral was talking about, they sort of go for the next 6 months, this is what we can expect. And then they just hope that at the end of that 6 months that the game is better off than when it started. I was expecting a post on, obviously, Rogue and Gambit. They were rumoured heavily that they were going to come out in Feb for Valentine's Day. And clearly Ken wanted, because he keeps saying Rogue instead of Ghost.
Give me Rogue, damn it.
Hey, we just got the new post.
Oh, is the
acknowledging community feedback. Orange
we might wanna
gear
read this
access, training modules, character availability, Doom raid rewards, quitting penalty and RTA, raid milestones, Thor's hammer throw crash, save squad slots, and then the summary.
There you go. Those hammer ability, save squad slots. I mean, well, that's funny because I think this comes from all the content creators, right? They've been talking a lot about it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about Thor's hammer throw, to be honest. The save squads I know was a big one, and they talked about that previously. They're looking at increasing the rare milestones, so if you haven't looked into it, it's very light on compared to what we were expecting, because we were expecting that 6-month block. So probably next episode's going to be a big one, talking about what they plan to do until, I think it's 30th of June, and then they kick off the next, July is the next, obviously, 6 months. Talking about the availability of gear, which...
I like the training module announcement. That's good to hear. That's very good to hear.
That's one of the issues, right?
Yeah.
Character availability. I know, so the legendary events, I want to talk about that because I know it's affecting, probably not Nietzsche since he has every character, but a lot of people...
I'll have Doom.
Hey, you will have Doom by the end for the next episode, right?
Yep.
But, people, maybe it wasn't on a schedule thing, but it was pretty much scheduled right, especially last year. It was like, this is the flow of the legendaries. They've been changing it ever since October, flipping between the two. We know that Nick Fury's coming out. Do we think this is bad for new players, considering, like, they think, all right, so the next one in the cadence is Phoenix, so I'm going to work towards that, and then... Because that's how I did it for the legendaries, right? Like, I saw where was I on sort of the schedule, and then, okay, so Magnesia's the next one. All right, I can't get him, but the next one's Shuri, so I'm going to go hard on her and sort of plan ahead. Do you think it's bad that they've acknowledged that it's going to be very fluid and there's not really going to be a set schedule? Ken?
I mean, definitely bad for newer players.
Yeah. It does affect people who've already got it, right? But
yeah. And in my case, I'm okay. I'm fine with my teams where they're at, but it's definitely going to be a hit for newer players because that's something that I used to take advantage of. Like having that set schedule and knowing when. Not only that, like I used to set. I don't know if I said it in the last time I was here, but I used to use a roster planning tool that had the dates assigned as well, so that I knew how many shards I needed daily, right, to farm towards that legendary, etc. So I even used. I'm a nerd. You guys know that. I even use tools to like prep for those events. So and you can throw those out the window if this is how it's going to be going forward. So.
And I think that's the problem if we're making it harder for newer players, right? You always need that new blood in. Lex, does because you don't have all the legendaries to 7-star, is this affecting your farming methods?
Yeah, I mean, as far as getting him to 7 stars, it probably will, but where I'm at right now, I feel like even the characters that I need to farm to get them to 7 stars, I'm already just kind of farming them in the background anyway, so I'll probably just continue on doing that. But yeah, like Ken said, it really messes you up because now you have no idea how much you should be farming every day. Who's going to be coming out. It's going to make it much harder to unlock the legendaries. So luckily, the only legendaries I don't have is Doc Ock and Jubilee. So it's not that big of a deal for me. I mean, the 7-star thing, yeah, it is. I'm not in the higher TCP bracket yet necessarily, so I'm sure the 7-star thing will come into play a lot more once I get up into the higher TCP bracket. But right now, it sucks, but it's not going to affect me dramatically.
And Nietzsche, who has every character a 7-star, do you have anything to say about that?
Honestly, I was reading blog posts, so you gotta remind me of the question.
The changing of cadence with legendaries. So last year they were pretty good. We knew that Phoenix was first, then Star Lord. I think Nick Fury was next, and there was definitely a cadence there. They've done a post where they're saying that you got to stay fluid. So I think the next one is Black Bolt after Jubilee. Do you think this is bad moving forward?
Do I what?
Do you think it's bad moving forward because it affects people's farming, planning, and stuff like that?
I mean, the reasons for the changes weren't terrible. It's like when you say, "Oh, well, Nick Fury," well, they moved him to I believe a 3-star unlock and moved him to something similar to Iron Man. So obviously he has to come out of that cadence. But
yeah.
In that case, then yes, everything does get moved up some. I don't really have a huge problem with that, although I also personally don't come into a problem with that as much. And then whenever you add a new character like Jubilee, it's going to throw off the order of people. But I think as long as they keep the order the same and they're just removing or adding characters into it, personally, I'm okay with it.
Because I think Magneto hasn't come out for a while now, 3 months or something. And so that's, though Brotherhood's probably not the number one sort of team that you should be sort of aiming for. There's obviously better teams out there. Magneto is a pretty good player, especially if you like PvP. Very good player there. So, it's just interesting. Last one for this week before we kick off. I know a lot of people, and this is more of a sort of just assess now. I know a lot of people are either turning free to play or playing less of the game, especially in the community. Some people are jumping out as content creators, stuff like that. Due to whatever reason, whether it's too much to keep up with, or so for me, for example, it's just too much to constantly catch up. So I've sort of gone to free to play. Some people are like, the time sinks, the RTA is a really big one for that one. Do you think that we're going to have an issue if a lot of people start leaving? Just with some of the issues. Obviously, they did a blog post saying that, look, we get this. There's the gear crunch, there's the money crunch, there's the train mat crunch, all these issues. Ken, do you Do you think there's any immediate fixes that they can sort of do to sort of hopefully bring people back?
I don't necessarily know to bring people back, because I think once people are past that point where they feel so burnt out that they don't want to deal with the resource management, they don't want to deal with the bottlenecks, they don't want to deal with that aspect of the game, and it becomes a chore. It's no longer fun, right? And after all, it is a game, right? It should be fun. You're playing this, for enjoyment, for the sake of entertaining yourself, etc. So
Yeah, of course.
I know. I feel like every time I hear someone leaves the game, they're done with it for good. And even if they made the game great again, very rarely do they come back, because they just have so much to catch up on. Like so many characters that maybe that they missed out on, and so many different implementations that they're not familiar with, etc. So it becomes even more challenging. Then you lose your arena placement too as well. I'm sure over time you're no longer getting the cores that you were getting, etc. So I know if that was the case for me and I was like a month out, it would take a huge hit into my roster and my progress, and whatever 3 characters are going to be available at that time. So I don't necessarily know if it would benefit anybody that has left, but it would benefit those that are currently feeling that kind of burnout and are still holding on to their life to still play this game, which I'm seeing it. I feel like this week we've heard it a lot, right? And I think if you jump into any stream this week, it's been a problem. It's been a problem for them. They're clearly acknowledging it. I haven't read the blog post, but it seems like it's a pretty lengthy one. So clearly they're trying to address some of those issues right now,
which I think is good. Acknowledging that you have a problem is the first step, right?
Yep.
But it's true. So I have to admit, over Christmas we talked about it a little bit offline as well, as that over Christmas I was getting burnt out. I'm playing 2 of these collection games, so it's a bit, but it's the community that keeps me around. So I love this community, and that keeps me around, and it is a game, but sometimes it does test my patience. Lex, how do you feel, brother?
Yeah, so it's funny you said that, man. I went through the same feelings with the game. I still sometimes go through those feelings with the game, like where it's just like, oh man, like, because especially when you're lower TCP, you just feel like you have so much to do and so much to catch up on, and you feel like there's so many other players, streamers that are at such a higher level. You're like, man, I'll never catch up to them, or by the time I do catch up to them, there'll be a whole nother level to the game that'll be a whole nother couple years to catch up to. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's just like a constant forward motion. And so I did go through that as well, where it was like, man, I don't know if I want to do this. So what I've done is I just kind of just play more casually. That makes it more fun for me. I just try not to be so like, oh, I got to do this. I got to do my rotations. I got to do this. I just, if I have time, I play. And if I don't, I don't. And, and that makes it more enjoyable for me. And that's been holding me onto the game. And also, like you said, the community as well. I love you guys. I consider you guys my friends. I love seeing you guys, talking to you guys. I've been busy this last week as well with work, just, working late, man, working hard. And so I can completely understand where you're coming from as well, Mendawgs. But yeah, I'm still here. I'm still rolling. I'm still kicking. I don't plan on like dropping and leaving the game anytime soon. Not like that, anyways. You know. So yeah, I guess it's just different for everybody, but I'm good.
It definitely. We found it last year at work as well, and you can find it anywhere, right? If everyone's beating that drum of how bad everything is, it's contagious. I'm not to say that let's put sugar on it, but it's good to see that they are going, hey, look, yeah, we acknowledge there's a couple of issues, and I think it'll be bad if they go the other way, where they just give everyone unlimited resources, but the fact that they acknowledge it, I think it's a big thing. Nietzsche, being the high end, what are your thoughts?
So I think Ken really nailed it there with saying that once a player quits the game, it's going to be very, very difficult to bring them back. I know it's literally the only reason I haven't quit my alt account is because I don't want to have to play catch up.
Yeah.
I've actually given my alt account to someone else to play whenever I didn't want to play it, and then I took it back when they quit. So bringing someone back is a very difficult task. I think the changes they'll make will create a better environment for those currently playing and create a better environment for new players coming in. From my understanding, Scopely is not hurting on this game. They're still getting new players just as much as they're getting people quitting, if not getting new players more. So not really worried about that. I do like that they are addressing a lot of these issues. I do think, me personally right now, I'm SBC farming.
Yeah.
And so I do want to see these orange mats become a little bit more prevalent in the game. But and some of they had mentioned, a change that hadn't been changed in the raids since 2018. Yeah, they need to start updating those things.
The milestones. The milestones.
Yeah. So there are things like that they're addressing, and I think that's good.
I think if for closing statements, I think the game is better off than when it was when I first started. So I came back. So not the first time. I came back with my account in June, and I would say that as it stands right now, the game is better than when it was when I first came back. So that's good, and it's just you just always want to see those improvements, right? They increased the what are they called? The challenges. They've added RTA. Not my favorite game mode, but at least they've added another game mode there. They've added the new raid, which is torture. we tried doing that. My goodness, I took in my symbiotes thinking I was going to walk through bio and got absolutely walked into the ground. And then obviously they brought out Dark Dimension 4, which is in-game content anyway, so I'm happy with that. But
I have two questions. I have two questions for both you guys and chat as well before we end it. One, on the blog post, it talks about the quitting penalty for RTA. And they say that we've since heard your feedback that there are very valid reasons to quit a match, and that this is felt too punishing for not giving you any of your objective rewards. Personally, I'm trying to sit here and think, what is a valid reason for quitting that match?
Uneven matchmaking.
Okay.
Like a 200k team to a 50k team or something. You're like, why am I going to sit here and try and fight this battle?
But the punishment that they're talking about is when you leave, say you've used a couple of abilities,
right.
You won't get that. That's the punishment they're talking about.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
not the instant where you haven't done anything, you've quit. The only thing that I can think of is if you're, like when sometimes the game crashes, is the only time that I can think of. You've been playing a game and your game crashes, is the only time that I can actually see a legitimate reason to quit. Or alternatively, you have to leave because, a phone call or something disturbs that game. That's the only reason I can see.
Yeah, but in that case, that's kind of, your fault. In both cases.
Yeah, it is my fault. I constantly
hey, bro, that's your fault.
I constantly call him popular.
So I'm just trying to see, I would rather have the punishment there than sit here and say, oh, well, sorry, you killed my character that I needed the abilities on, but I had all these other characters. I'm just going to quit. Now that one character's dead, I prefer the punishment and, play out your fight.
Korg does bring a good point from chat. Oh, sorry to cut you off. The other person intentionally taking 15 seconds per turn just to wait.
Oh, I hate that. I hate when people do that.
That
I was just saying that today. It's the most annoying thing in RTA when they
just
do
put it
on
on auto.
You're trying to, you're trying to get through the fight, and then they purposely just wait the whole 15 seconds.
Yeah.
That's probably gonna be like the one time where I'm trying to quit at that point.
I agree on that one. There you go, legitimate reason to quit Nietzsche.
Yeah, but I think also at a point, if they wait too long or whatever, well, I maybe if you actually hit the button, it doesn't do it. But I know.
By the
if
way,
you
I'm
time
sorry to
out
cut you
each
off.
time-
Didn't they shorten it? Now it's 10. It's not 15. Like last night I was doing it. It was 10 seconds, not 15 anymore.
Might be. I just hit auto and I don't look at it.
Yeah, check it because I think they shortened it for that same reason too. I think to try and avoid that whole, circumstance. So, but I mean, I'm kind of like I'm Team Nietzsche on this one. I have a joke song in my in my stream, the RTA I quit song. But for the most part, I'd rather just deal with the fight and, like, if anything, put it in auto. If you don't want to deal with the consequences, etc., you already jumped into the fight. Why not go through with the entire battle at that point? And boohoo, they killed the guy that I was trying to get my, my objectives done with. Just continue. I mean, it's just you never really see it in any of the game. The thing is, it's not that it happens once. I feel like for me, when it happens, it's like an avalanche of like, well, I'll do it this one, then they quit. Then the next fight I go in again, they quit again. And then now I have like 6 or 7 fights in a row where people are just quitting. Now I don't even want to do it myself. So it gets annoying, especially when you're trying to play it the right way, but then somebody else is just trying to get their objectives done. And once again, they just quit on you and you don't even get to do half of your objectives. You're wasting so much time, right? You're spending time trying to get your objectives done and then the other person's just quitting on you all the time. So, and I get it. Sometimes it's annoying. People do the cheesy strats, etc., but just do your objectives and move on. So that's why I was actually looking forward to the whole.
Fixed that part.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I was looking forward to the change to RT8. So with the fix to it, now it's not a big deal. Now it's just I go on about my life. You pick this team, it's okay. Let it happen. But there's almost no reason to quit in RTA nowadays.
No, I don't think so. I found that they've fixed a lot of things like the matchmaking was bad at one point where I had like a 60,000 team and I'm versing a 600k team. But I'm finding the matchmaking pretty close, within usually 50,000. Probably less the smaller teams that I have, so I haven't got any issues with that.
Is anybody not going as hard this RTA round because of Beast?
No, I am. Beast is actually one of my lowest characters. He's only 5 yellow stars, and so I actually need him.
Yeah, same. He's like at 4, I think.
Astonishing X-Men.
So
Astonishing X-Men's amazing.
Talking about Beast, he's obviously moved into the Jubilee team. Who's the 5th now in Phoenix that you're chucking in, guys?
You can put Wolverine in there.
I went back to my original X-Men.
Who was that?
So Phoenix, Colossus, Psylocke, Wolverine, and Cyclops. No.
Yeah.
So no Storm.
Well, I've been using Storm till I get Bishop. Once Bishop, comes through, then I guess you can try technically input. But I actually prefer Psylocke for the evades and the survivability on that team.
Yeah,
cool.
Psylocke helps a lot. Storm unless you're just straight up talking raids, Storm just doesn't have a lot of viability because you're not building up the charges quick enough. She's a little bit slow. Oh yeah, you're getting some assists, but overall she's not the better character to have on that team.
And we've got Wolverine up there. Wow. Okay, there we go. He's the favorite. He should be one of the best characters. It's Wolverine. He's the best character. It's trash. It's trash.
Logan was on the other night. Oh my God, what a good movie! They just did not do Wolverine justice. They should come out with a old man Logan character. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Baby.
And then you could use him instead of Wolverine, and then you have a good Wolverine character to use.
Yeah. He evolves. He's like empowered.
Yeah, bro.
Empowered Logan.
All right, so we're going to finish off the episode there. Oh, sorry, Nietzsche.
Sorry, my second one was Doom. Has anyone... Ken is the only one I think who may have tried Doom. I don't know if Mendawgs has. Lex, assuming no.
Yeah, no.
So, I mean, it's really a question for chat and a question for you guys. Have you done Doom, and what did you think about it?
Oh, wait, Doom the campaign?
No, sorry, Doom the raid.
Oh, the raid. I think we talked about that. We tried, and we only had a couple Alliance members that were able to finish a node, and the rest of us really, really struggled. So.
Who are you, Ken?
We did it by mistake. And then when we did it, everybody was laughing like in chat. You're like, who did this? So we gave it a shot. To be honest, you can still do like 30%. I feel like most alliances are trying to do 30%, maybe even I guess like the Kraken super, developed alliances are probably shooting for like 60%. But I just, there's no point right now for the rewards. Like the rewards are not even that great at 30% to really be pushing that, except for those that are really looking for for the entire raid rewards. Like if you're trying to build towards that, clearly you get more out of it. But my alliance has settled on just doing U7.5 for now. Maybe I feel like once we start seeing more people really get into Dark Dimension 4 and really build rosters with a lot of Give 15 characters, etc., we'll try again and see if we can really tackle 60%, etc. Because at 60%, I think it's definitely more doable at that point. And if your alliance can do 60%, then by all means do it. It'll get you more rewards anyways for season rewards. So but as it stands right now, it's a pain. We're not doing it. So
did you guys get 30%?
No, we only tried it once. I know in our cluster an alliance that did it, and they even told us it was actually ridiculous. They had to stack nodes to just even get them done. Just to a lot of coring, a lot of stuff happening. And when I'm telling you, it's our top alliance. Like it's a lot of 11 mil and higher kind of guys for the most part. And even them, they struggle to get to 30%. So I think it's it's expected. I was mentioning, like, people were saying in my chat, like, oh, why do we need another raid team? And this was even before Doom Rims even came into the picture. I said, well, yeah, expect some of the newer teams to come in come in with a lot more firepower. And here comes Axeman with like 200k power levels, just autoing U7.5. So here we go. They're coming. It's gonna be teams, characters that are gonna be coming down the line that I think are definitely gonna be resourceful and helpful for Doom Reigns. But where we are right now in the game, we just have to be patient.
Yeah, we tried it and it did not go well.
Yeah, it didn't go well. You know what it said? It sent us a message saying, "Thank you for participating."
Thank you for attempting, Dean. We recommend you 6.5.
We're on U7 U7.2 right now. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So we're a little behind on you guys, but we are getting there, which is pretty good. We had a big win when we were actually able to beat U7.1. It was a big celebration of the group, which was really fun. But what about you, Nietzsche? How you finding the new raid?
So we've done it once. We're planning on doing it every Sunday. We did 37% this last time, so we did make the mark.
Yeah, nice.
I found it fun. It's a new challenge because every node on U7.5 I just auto at this point.
Nice.
So it was fun. I think it's gonna get easier the more we do it, as we figure out, okay, well, here's the priority target, here's what we need to do. I'm sure we spent a significant amount of cores, and me being me, I spent plenty specifically on energy, just to see all the different nodes. So I did, I was on basically a solo lane. I did every node in our lane. And I was mutant. I was on the mutant one. Then it went bio, then it went skill, and then it went mystic. And I stopped after messing around on mystic. So I didn't go all the way, but I am excited about it. I enjoy the new challenge, and think it's fun. It's definitely difficult.
Yeah, and I think, especially for me and Lex, we struggle. Our alliance is struggling through 7.2. So obviously for us, it's less fun. But it was good. It was good to sort of all combine into one node just to beat it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the first time I ran through U7.2, I was able to do really well. I made it all the way up. So you have the first box, the first the first and then the second box. I made it all the way up through the second box on my lane. And then sometimes I'll go through U7.2 and I'll just get smacked on like the second node. Like, I just ran through this node, no problem. And yeah, it's crazy. It's like, especially the boss nodes. The boss nodes are hard for me.
Yeah.
Because they're 100, I think they're 107K or something like that. And so, yeah, it's getting a little difficult.
Yeah, is it the Ronin, the accuser node that usually takes out my symbiote, so I got to work on them.
Yeah.
Oh man, I am versed in so many teams in RTA that is the full bishop and all that. Astonishing, that's what they call it. So final closing points, guys. End of episode 2. We'll go over to Ken.
Yeah, I guess from me, thank you guys again for having me. It's always a blast to hang out with you guys and talk a little bit of MSF. I'm happy with where the game is technically heading. I'm glad that they're acknowledging some of the issues and trying to fix some of the bugs that have been, or at least acknowledge that the bugs exist. I don't know about fixing it, right? Like Thor's hammer has been issues for how long? And they finally acknowledged it, I guess, with today's blog post from what we see in the chat. So to that point too, I know a lot of salt has been going around this week, and I'm not loving too much of the salt, to be honest. Like I love the game, but I think it's almost necessary for them to take notice of what they need to work on to make the game better, especially for those that have been in the game for X amount of time, etc. So in that aspect, I'll let them speak. I'll let them rub the salt in their faces, and then I'll reap the rewards on my end, and see what happens with those changes. So yeah.
To be honest, sometimes you need that little bit of salt just to get those.
You need
things. It. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sometimes
you need it. It's all for the betterment of the game. How you go about it. There should be ways to go about it, etc. But at the same time, salt's needed. They need to know that it's not a game that people are necessarily too happy with, right? Like things are wrong. You need to fix these bugs. They've been in this game for a long time, so do something about it.
Yeah, 100%.
Don't forget, if you spill the salt, to throw some over your right shoulder.
Isn't it good luck? It's right shoulder, left shoulder is bad, right?
I forget. Lex, any final points?
Yeah, man. It's good hanging out with you guys. Ken, thanks for coming, man. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, and I love doing Roundtable. I love you guys. You guys are my boys. The game, I think the game's fine. I don't think I'm glad they're addressing the issues. I'm definitely glad they're addressing the training mat issues. That was really my biggest bottleneck is training mats. That really is just holding me up. So that's good. And as long as we're still getting new players and people are still interested in the game, I think the game has a bright future. Mm-hmm. I definitely don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. Even if a bunch of people do quit the game, there's probably just as many people starting the game. Little do they know. Like, I follow them on Facebook, and so I see new players all the time saying, "Oh, where do I start?" And I tell them, "Start by busting out your wallet." You know what I mean?
It's great advice.
Yeah.
Good. How many do you have, Bisa? Where's your friends at? Show me your friends.
Right. But yeah, man, it's an honor hanging out with you guys. Hopefully, I'll be back on Monday and streaming normal. And thanks again, man.
Too easy, Nietzsche. Any final?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to thank once again Ken for joining us as our special guest and as a last-minute guest too. I literally messaged him like 3 minutes before our supposed start time and was like, "Hey, you want to be a guest?" Sad Zero couldn't make it. Dapper, he's Dapper.
He's playing his NBA, bro. He's on that NBA 2K.
Know, right?
He thinks he's hiding. He doesn't know that. It's like, bro, we can all see you're playing NBA right now.
I'm asleep. No, you're not.
He's like, I got
to my ankle hurts. I twisted it playing NBA 2K.
That's funny.
Obviously love you all, and glad we're on season 2, and let's keep it rolling.
And yeah, thanks very much for coming out, guys, and thank you very much to the MSF Roundtable. Yeah, we had a couple of weeks there. We had a couple of issues, but now we are back, and we'll be back on Fridays, 9 p.m. Pacific time. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Why do we get the Aussie to do the times? We don't know. Different time zones, right? But no, thanks again. We'll definitely be starting to get back in this. We'll start getting back into my YouTube, obviously doing some help desks, and we'll obviously be doing some videos on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which I shouldn't promote, but we were doing a shot game last lockdown, and so every single time I mention Star Wars, so I don't want to deprive you all from the shots. So we're going to head over to, as per usual, we always jump on my Discord, and I'll just quickly put a link in there. On my Discord, we have the after party, but we are going to be raiding Nietzsche, because I believe he's probably run PvP.
You're raiding Kenchiron.
Oh, raiding Ken. Hoo.
Oh, are we? Okay.
Ken sent us the viewer.
The back raid.
I mean, unless Ken doesn't plan on... I thought you were doing Among Us.
Well, I was going to send out an announcement in my Discord to see if we had 10. If we have 10 players, I'll go back live. If not, then,
I'm always happy to play Among Us. Always happy to play.
So
if you want to do that.
Well, raid Ken, if you guys don't get the 10 and he's going to peace out, then I'll hop on and you can raid me, Ken.
Okay. Well, and if that's the case,
we like to share.
Let me check real quick. I just put it out in Discord.
Are you guys going to play Among Us?